Intel Core i3, Core i5, and Core i7 CPUs have been around for a few years now, but some buyers still get stumped whenever they attempt to build their own systems, and are forced to choose among the three. Because when it comes to confusing product naming scheme, Core i3, Core i5, and Core i7 takes the cake. What is Core i7 4790K even mean? We will get to that, but first let's know why we need products named for processors. Wouldn't it will be simpler to just label it with how many gigahertz it has? For example, when the Pentium 4 launched, was clocked equivalently to Pentium 3, was faster because it can do more work with each cycle. As a customer, I would expect product of the higher number to be a better one, and there lies the problem. Not all megahertz and gigahertz are created equal. So here is what we have today. A Core i3 is the most basic option. First, it has 2 processing cores and hyper-threading. To know more about hyper-threading, please like and subscribe my channel Mr. Tech. Our videos are uploaded daily. But for now, hyper-threading allows a single microprocessor to act like 2 separate processors to the operating system and the application programs that use it. Second, it will have smaller cache and consumes less power, generally perform worse than i5 but cost much less. Which leads us to Core i5. I wish I could say it is simple. Core i3 has 2 cores, so Core i5 has 4 cores, and Core i7 has 6 cores, but it's not mobile. Core i5 has 2 cores and hyper-threading, and the desktop version has 4 cores and no hyper-threading, but they all have in common is improved onboard graphics and Turbo Boost. Turbo Boost is ability to dynamically scale up the clock speed of a processor depending on the thermal headroom available, more like overclocking. Now Core i7 number 1. All Core i7 has hyper-threading for heavy workload. Number 2. It can have 2 processing cores to all the way up 8 processing cores. It supports anywhere from 2-stick memory to 8-stick memory, and it can have TDP anywhere from 10 watts to 130 watts. So there is tons of variety because Core i7 tend to have more cache, faster turbo boost, and better onboard graphics than lower 2 processors. So the conclusion is Core i7 represents the best thing Intel can build, with the only drawback is higher price tag. Letters and suffixes. Some Intel desktop chips have suffixes, such as K, T or P. These special models have different characteristics than the stock versions. K denotes an unlocked clock multiplier, so if you have a compatible motherboard you can easily overclock the chip, raising its clock speed significantly for a serious speed increase. Overclocking can cause system instability and even damage your components, so should be approached with caution. An overclocked processor will generate an awful lot of heat, so you'll also need a decent third-party processor cooler to see any kind of decent stable overclock. There are 3 desktop Kaby Lake K processors, the Core i7 7700K, Core i5 7600K and Core i3 7350K. Bear in mind that these also use more power than non-K chips, even before overclocking. The Core i3 7350K has a 60 watts power rating compared to 51 watts for a normal Core i3, and the Core i5 and i7 processors are rated at 91 watts instead of 65 watts. T-suffix processors have lower clock speeds but also lower power requirements, and so are better for the planet and easier to keep cool. An example is the Core i5 7600T, which is clocked 700 mHz slower than the i5 7600 but has a 35 watts rather than 65 watts power draw. You'll typically find these inside smaller form factor PCs such as all-in-ones. So if you want to buy an Intel processors, the safest method to shop is to dig around and look for the features, clock speed, number of cores. That's for today guys, thanks for watching. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe my channel.
Majestic Records.